Hey everybody, it's Captain Drew Cavanaugh of Florida Inshore Fishing Charters and Mosquito Lagoon Sight Fishing Charters located here in New Smyrna Beach, Cobia Beach, Daytona Beach, just east of Orlando. And today what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to make a filtration system for your live well and how to keep your bait alive after you leave fishing or catch bait and you want to bring it back to your house and without just using a bubbler and just letting it die after a day. This right here, when I designed this, it's going to keep this stuff alive for days on end. And living here along the coast, a lot of times I can just keep bait in buckets on the river or whatever, but say sometimes I want to come back to the house and I just want to keep bait in the boat overnight. You know, the 20-gallon live well on the boat, it's just recircling the same water and it gets pollutants in it and all that. So after a couple hours, you know, the fish start to die. What this is going to do, it's going to suck the water out of the live well on the boat into this filter system. It's going to filter it out, then re-drain it back into the live well, almost like your fish tank does. So it's real easy to do. A few ingredients or parts that you're going to need, and I'm not going to go over how to glue the stuff together, how to cut the stuff. Just by watching this video, you can, I'm assuming most people can do this, so it's not hard to cut PVC pipe, so that part I'm going to skip. There's no reason even to show me that. That just eats a lot of time up on the video. You're going to need PVC pipe, a 5-gallon bucket, some kind of colander or strainer for the bottom, hoses, and then a fountain pump or a pond pump that you see in your front yard with a koi fish or whatever, about 400, 500, 600 gallon per hour, and all that. You're going to need a kill valve and all that good stuff. So basically what you do, let's start with the bucket first. Get you a 5-gallon bucket, 1.5 inch hole. You're going to cut a hole in the bucket just below the water line. The goal is the water is going to come out of the live well into here. It's going to raise up. It's going to go through all the filter stuff. Then right here, it's going to flow over into here. And as it flows into here, it's going to come back out, and that clean water is going to go back into your live well. Don't glue this piece on, because what you're going to need to do, if you glued that on there, when this is down in there, you'd never be able to get it out. And it took me, I had to make a couple of these before I realized I was making mistakes or just didn't glue it right or whatever. And it's trial by error. A lot of people use lava rocks. I tried it, I didn't like it. I bought the just reusable air filters for air conditioning, works great. So 1-inch PVC pipe here, right? I'm just going to leave that on there. You're going to make this pipe at least tall enough to go all the way down to the bottom and stick out of the top of the bucket. All right? You're going to get you a colander, a strainer, something like that. I cut it all around the side. I drilled holes in it right here, these 1-inch holes. Then on this pipe right here, you're going to glue a T on there and 245 degrees, and basically what that's going to do is that's going to, suck the water out. So when it's coming, the water's coming out of the live well system, it's coming in through here and it's circling around. So all these filters are going to grab it. So let's say when you glue this on here, you're going to get a piece that's going to go through there and screw on. Just go to your box store. I don't discriminate. Lowe's or Home Depot, either one. Screw it on there. You're going to use marine adhesive sealant. I like to use the 5200. It works great. I've used it my whole life on everything. So these pieces are all glued. Glued. I think that one's glued too. That one might not be. And if you don't glue this stuff, the nice thing is you can always make adjustments to it. Like if you wanted that longer, shorter, you wanted to go to 2 buckets, you could make a T there and have it drip down. So let's just say that's not glued for right now. I can't remember if I glued it or not, because I'm just using it on one live well. I was going to try to do it in like one of those big horse troughs, 100-gallon, and it was just a lot of work, so it's just easier to do it. So cut your colander out so it fits to the bottom of the bucket, right? That's going to go through there. And what I did here is I went to the garden center and I bought a quick release that snaps on the end of this one right here. So let me show you this, the pond pump. So when I go to take it out, it's just easier. And I put the shut-off valve on that so that the first time I tried it, I didn't have the shut-off valve, and I walked away from it, and this siphon effect happened, and it sucked all the water off on the floor, the boat, and the ground. So now what I do is I turn this off. Then I'm able to go and do it, and it won't siphon all the water out. So let's say you've got all this done. Your hose is just, when you go to the store to buy all these pieces, I'm not going to say how long of a hose you need, because that's a little longer than I need. This one's kind of common sense. you know, 1-inch pipe. You just want it to stick high enough out of the top of the bucket so this goes. This is the key part right here, is make sure you don't put that too high up to when you put the drain valve on it, it sticks up like that, then the water flows over the bucket, and also too far down so you get the maximum filtration effect. So when you do glue this on here, let it cure for a couple days. It says 24 hours, but man, let it sit out there for a couple days. So after everything's measured and done, the way this works, it's real easy to do. So put the T down in there. It's kind of a little tough, tight fit to put this colander down in there. There we go, like that. Okay. So that's down there like that, right? So now measure all your filters, and depending on what bait you have, man, you really don't need a lot of filters, I realized. And I love these reusable AC things. Other than when they sit for weeks, they get really dry, and you can see the pieces coming off of them. So you're gonna push that down into there. Then the next thing I bought, you're gonna get some smaller filters. And these are just reusable, like air conditioner filters for like the ceiling and stuff. And I just basically take these and wad them around like that. Right, just basically like that. And then I found these from a pond kit I had years ago, and I'm just gonna put those in here like this, right? And what that's gonna do is that's just gonna grab all the BS, you know, pieces of fish or poop or whatever they're putting out, or chunks in the water. Then this piece, remember, don't glue it on there. This is your overflow valve. You put it in there like that. There we go. A little tight fit there. There we go. The measuring is the hard part, you know. I'm not a plumber by any means, so cutting PVC pipe, I hate it. So those of you out there that are fishing, that are plumbers, man, this is going to be a cakewalk for you. It was the architectural design and the engineering behind it that really got you. And just make sure all your fittings are tight, you know. And it's not a fish tank in your house, so if it leaks a little bit, the worst case, you'll get some water on the floor of your boat or whatever. Now down here in Florida, we have salt water, and I really don't want that going everywhere in the boat. All right, so after all this is done, I'm going to show you how it works. We're going to pretend this is the live well, this is the filter. So you got it all on there, then you're going to put your lid on there like that, right? Doesn't have to be rocket science. Then we're going to put this up here like this. All right, turn this around here. Okay, better yet, I'll put this over here. All right, so let's pretend this is your live well. Now, if you got a small live well, like 5 gallons, you're going to need to bring extra water, because this is going to take up 3-4 gallons of your live well water. So, like when I do the salt water here, I'll go down to the dock and get 3, 4, 5 gallon buckets of water. Then every 10-15 hours, I'll come out here and just take some out and reuse it. All right, so now what we're going to do, and the cool thing about this pump, they're about $50, $60, $70, depends on which one. I put the screw-on one on there, right? Like that. Here's what I was talking about. So you definitely want to try to find one that you can screw a pipe on instead of gluing it. Pretty much all these pond pumps are all screw-on, but sometimes people screw it on there, then glue a piece. I want to make sure I could get something that's removable. So basically, like I said, if I just got shrimp in there and they really don't need a filtration system for 12 hours, I can screw this on here, take the filter piece off, put this on there like that, and then I can lower this in the live well. Now, instead of using my recirculating pump with my 12-volt battery and putting wear and tear on the pump, I can use this one, because this is going to last a lot longer. It's going to be a steady power source, and it's not draining my battery, because I don't like to leave everything on in the boat while I'm charging it overnight. I want all that shut off, because I don't want anything fried. So then, like I said, you can just take this off, and like I said, just use your imagination. You can get all these pieces either in your plumbing section or in the lawn and garden section where all the sprinklers. Putting wear and tear on that pump, you're not putting wear and tear on your boat battery. The whole goal is to use the 110 outlet, you know, because it's going to be a steady power source. So let's screw this back on here. And this piece right here, like I said, I'm not a plumber, so you can see it's sloppily glued and all that, but who cares? So this you're going to put in here. You know, the valve's open. So now what we do is we're going to put this in here. That goes in the live well, right? Oh, forgot a filter piece here. That's all right. you know. And I was amazed when I did this the first time. I kept mullet alive in here for 5 days, and the water was crystal clear every day. Every day I'd replace it with about 5-10 gallons of buckets of water. Okay, so now you could do this, or I like to do this. That way it doesn't, you know, you can do anything. You can even put a T on there, you know, use your imagination. So then let's say the boat's parked at the house, blah blah blah, you're sitting there, everything's disconnected on the boat. You can now put your aerator in your live well, plug it into an outlet, so now you're not using your boat battery. That's the whole thing. Then you're going to get your cord. First thing we're going to do is hook this up. You know, real easy to do, and doesn't have to, you know, just lay in there. You know, at first I thought the fish were going to get stuck in it, but nah, none of them did. So now what we're going to do is we're going to plug it in. I can hear the pump running. Now watch, it's going to suck all that water out because it's putting in here. So now as you're doing that, you're going to want to add water. So you come over here. Now I'm going to pretend this is salt water. Let's say I ran over to the dock, got salt water. So I'm going to add a little bit of salt water. Just depending on the size of your live well. So now watch, it's going to start to fill up. So add a little bit more. And it's coming out. So then what you do is top your live well off. And like down here in Florida, I can even put a frozen jug of water in there to cool the water temperature down. And now we'll look in here, and you can see how it's just overflowing right there. It's just, what it does is the filter's going through there. It's coming up through all this media, filter media, and filtering it out. Another thing you could use is the terry cloths and all that. You go to the fish store and buy some reusable fish stuff. I like the AC stuff because you can just wash it and reuse it again. So that, my friend, is pretty much it. Now you got your air bubbler in there. You can either put an air bubbler in here or right down in here, down there, and it's just circulating. The key is to keep moving water going. You know, you can take that off. You know, just play around with different ideas. If you, let's say you had two live wells, you could almost make a T here and run a PVC pipe to the other live well. You know, say mullet in one and pigfish in another, or pinfish or shrimp or whatever. You could separate them. But there's your filtration idea for how to keep bait alive for several days. And then after about 3 or 4 days, what you do is you got to take this out and just take all the milk, the filter media out, and just clean it and wash it. Just hose it down, let it dry in the sun, and then you're good to go again. So anybody got any questions or anything, just feel free to give me a call. I know it's kind of a quick video, but I watched one almost like this setup a couple years ago, and they were going through how to go to the store and buy it, and the measurements, and it was like 80 minutes long. It was like, most people are going to know how to cut it. You know, the size is all going to be the same. Just make sure as your brain's going, you're just putting everything together. And it might take you a couple times like me, but I found the key thing is the glue. Because since the bucket's round and those two pieces that fit together want to go on a flat surface and not a curved surface, at first I started with a 2-inch pipe. And then I decided to go down to this 1.5 inch, and it works so much better. And if I ever build another one of these, I might even just go with the 1 inch. And a smaller pond pump, because you just want water circulating, you want movement. And this is almost what they do at bait stores. It's the same setup, just on a larger scale. I think at one point I kept pigfish alive, about 30 pigfish in the tank for about 7 days. You know, I would just throw a couple dead shrimp in there every now and then for the feed, but the water stayed crystal clear. And then when you would go to clean this, oh my God, was it dirty. So you're just filtering out all that nasty stuff, and that's what kills them and all that good stuff. So anybody got any questions, send me an email, give me a call. If you're interested and you get one of these and you don't want to do it, I'd work something out with you. You know, this video is mostly for you to see how to do it. the description below, you could see where to go get this stuff, the pieces and the parts and all that kind of stuff. You could use those links down there. And if you got any questions or anything, just give me a call. Again, this is Captain Drew Cavanaugh. Everybody have a great day, and thank you for watching. And please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.